Hey guys, wanted to do a little before and after on the cleaning job that I'm going to do on these. I'm going to detail them. It's basically the outside of the chrome looks fine. Has some fingerprints and some residue. This side of the fender, this is the rear fender. This part was basically right under the right over the back tire, closer to the motor. This side's already been cleaned a little bit, and this is obviously the back of it. Now, inside of these, they have a little bit of surface rust, which I'll take care of. And same for the front fender. Has some surface rust as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and detail these. I may discuss how I do it. I won't be showing you the act of me doing it, but and the pipes, the exhaust. I'm gonna do the same for the exhaust. Some surface rust on here. Get some of that off. All right, so I decided to take this video a little further and actually show. I said I wasn't going to show how to do it, but I'm going to show a little bit. I'll probably cut the video up and just show you pieces. But this is I think it's called purple stuff or simple. I don't know what it's called, but it's a 5-to-1 degreaser. Basically, I put it on, start rubbing with a SOS Brillo pad, and the degreaser is just to kind of break it up a little bit. Any grease, it's not going to do anything for the rust. That's where this comes into play. And as you can see, this rust is very, very pitted into it. I don't know how much this is actually going to get out of it. It's a 46-year-old bike, 1971 Honda CB350. So it's definitely an older bike, but gorgeous bike. With this amount of surface rust, just takes a little bit of time and patience, but with some time and patience, you can get a good bit of it off. All right, I'll do a quick view to show you. So there's no more rust. All right, I'll do a quick view to show you there's no more rust here on this piece. It's actually just pitted pretty badly, but this is what it looked like before. So it's getting there. So a quick view on the screw and the bolt nut on it. You just put it on and twist it. It'll clean the rust off the top of that. Now for the other side, I just flipped it over. All right, here's a quick view after I've gone over it. As you can see, it doesn't make it perfect, but it does remove a lot of that exterior rust. There was rust all in these. The next step I'll do to this, once I'm done with the rest of them, is to come out and put a chrome polish on the outside. The inside I'll probably do a mother's mag, aluminum, go around it with that, wipe it off, that way it seals it a little bit. Now for this one, as you'll see, I started cleaning this while it was on the bike. I decided to take it off, and since there were only 2 bolts holding it on and the wires to the tail light, the signal lights, decided to go ahead and take it off and make it easier on myself. What's up, guys? So I've actually been filming a YouTube video of how to remove surface rust from chrome parts. This came off it's a rear fender off of a 1971 Honda CB350, 46 years old. It doesn't have a horrible amount of, could look a lot worse, I'll say it that way. It's been garage kept for the most part. But I have just a simple degreaser diluted. It just helps out with the grease, but this is a steel wool, SOS steel wool pad. If you just scrape across it like that. For chrome plated, you don't have to put a lot of pressure on it. It's more about just the motion. It takes it right off. Cool thing about steel wool is you can get into tight places, still be able to manage. So haven't been restoring because I'm keeping the motorcycle all original. It's one I picked up from Atlanta about 2 weeks ago. And since it did sit up for quite a long time, I'm having the motor taken apart and gone through, and I have no choice. Certain things I may have to replace inside the motor, but as far as the bike goes, I'm doing all I can do in this form just to keep it original and be able to put a 1971 motorcycle back on the road. It's a gorgeous bike. It's like they're bright red, really pretty color. If you Google 1971 CB350 red, you'll be able to see it. It's red with a black stripe down the side of the gas tank. Anyway, this method works really well. I kind of looked into different methods of how to do it before I started it. And I've done this on bicycle handlebars and stuff like that, and it worked really well, so I wanted to make sure I did something that would not hurt this with the age of it. Just a boring video, that's all. But if you have some a kid with a bicycle has rust on the handlebars and you want to be the dad that brings it back to life, then grab yourself some SOS from mom and go outside and tackle it with Brillo pad. After I do all this, I'll go and put a layer of chrome polish on it. Probably the Mother's brand. It's called Mother's Chrome Polish. Don't use the aluminum mag polish, as it's more abrasive, so it will probably scratch it. All right, that's all. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I ran away for a minute. Went over to Facebook and did a little live video for just taking some of the surface rust off the top of this. It was a little here on the side, kind of the same thing I've already shown you guys. There was a little on this side. Actually, there's a little right here. I'll go ahead and tackle that. But I went over to show how easy it was to take the surface rust off. If you look at this right around this, it's already gone. Just to share with those guys too. So there'll be a small portion of this that won't be in the video. But it's on Facebook. Same thing, nothing special. Getting all this black stuff off, which I have no clue what it was. For some reason I think it was paint, but that doesn't sound right. It's much harder than I thought it would be. So I switched to alcohol. It's a 50-50 ratio of alcohol to water. But I'm on my last leg of that. And it's getting it off pretty easy. Usually I would do my research first to find out whether alcohol would hurt the chrome, but I kind of thought it wouldn't, so I went ahead and did it. It's smart to do your research before you add additional components into things that you want to keep original, especially. But this took care of it, and I'm not really sure what this is. I'm guessing it's some kind of oxidization into the paint. Into the chrome coating. I got to figure that out, whether I can get that off without hurting it. I'll do that at a later point. All right, so I'm gonna do another bolt here. I've already cleaned this one. I guess it should be obvious that I should say, don't use this on paint or anything that has a paint and clear coat. Still will scratch it. But you can use it on your little nuts and bolts and screws to get surface rust off. Oh, and something cool about this bike. So Sport City Inc. out of Brighton, Michigan. That's where the bike was originally purchased back in 71, 72. And Sport City Inc. was purchased by CNC. I don't know if it's CNC Cycles or something like that in Brighton, Michigan. I called to try to get some just history about the place, and they told me that Sport Cycles was no longer around. The franchise was bought out, or the Honda franchise in that city was bought out by CNC. Little history. All right, you remembered how this tail end looked, and that rust is off and the black stuff, and again, it's not polished, it'll be polished. This is gonna be fun. So, by the way, got a new Brillo pad. Or not Brillo, steel wool. I ran out, started to wear out. This one has a good amount of rust, but first things first, I'm gonna spray a little alcohol on it. I like the way that worked on the, I don't think it's gonna do anything for the rust, but I like the way it worked for the stuff on the other side. This is just a long, tedious process. You have to wipe in the same spot until you get the surface rust off. You're not gonna get the pittedness out, but you can start to feel the difference as the rust goes away. Do a quick swipe here to show you. If you look at that, that's what you want it to look like on the whole thing. So I'll check back in a bit. All right, after about 30 minutes and some tedious work, I have got it to almost about where I want it. I'd like to get it a little bit closer to, but if you remember what it looked like, which I'm sure you do because that was only a few seconds ago, at least for you guys, that's looking a lot better. Okay, so we're all useless without food, right? So I took a moment to eat. It's avocado, tomato, egg bagel with some different type of seasonings. All right, so I'm recording this in case I decide to use it, but there's no shine like Mother's. So Mother's mag and aluminum polish. I'm gonna use this on the inside only, not using this on chrome. Using the Mother's chrome polish on chrome, as this is a little more abrasive than the chrome polish. So dab a little. I would usually use a pad for this, but that's on a vehicle, if I'm working on a vehicle. But on this I'll use a rag. Just apply it, put it on the whole thing, and it says to basically wipe it off prior to polish drying. In that case, you work smaller areas. So I'm probably gonna work just half of it, maybe less than half. And you just polish it, just wipe it in. To keep it from drying, if you kind of go over the spots that you first did, adds a little layer back on top of it. Then once you get to a certain point, you can grab another one and just wipe it, cleaning all that off. All right, so the removal of rust and the final polish is done. So after that process, this is what they look like. I used Mother's mag and aluminum under them on the inside. Actually, let me turn these towards the light. Remove the surface rust that we talked about and use the Mother's mag and aluminum inside of it, and then Mother's chrome polish on the exterior.